In this video, we will walk you through the brand setup process in CloudQuarks. Brand setup is a mandatory prerequisite that marks your company as transaction ready for a specific vendor. It is through this process that we capture the unique identifiers assigned to you by the vendor. These identifiers are then used to tag your orders, subscriptions, and commercial transactions correctly within the vendor ecosystem. In this walkthrough, we will focus on brand setup for Microsoft CSP. To begin, navigate to Account Management, then Brand Setup. In this section, you will see a list of all brands for which your company is currently enabled to conduct business. Locate Microsoft CSP in the list. If the status shows Not Initiated, go to the Action column and click Initiate. When you initiate Microsoft Brand Setup, the system will prompt you to enter your MPN ID. Every Microsoft reseller must have a valid Microsoft Partner Network (MPN) ID in order to transact under the CSP program. Enter your MPN ID in the provided field. The system will immediately validate this ID with Microsoft. Two validations are performed. First, active status validation. The system checks whether the MPN ID is active. If valid, the corresponding company name registered with Microsoft will be displayed. You should verify that this matches your organization. Second, Partner of Record (POR) compliance check. The system verifies whether the MPN ID is compliant as per Microsoft's Partner of Record requirements. Only if both validations pass will you be allowed to proceed and save the MPN ID. Once saved, this MPN ID will automatically be attached to all Microsoft CSP orders and transactions executed through the platform. In addition to the MPN ID, you will also have the option to submit your indirect reseller ID. For CSP transactions, partners must be enrolled as an indirect reseller and have a CSP indirect reseller tenant associated with their account. The indirect reseller ID is a 36-character alphanumeric ID issued by Microsoft. If you choose to provide this ID, enter the tenant ID in the required field. The system will validate whether your indirect reseller tenant is already linked with Redington. If the indirect reseller tenant is already connected with Redington, the system confirms the linkage and allows you to save the details. If the tenant is not yet linked, the system will generate an invitation URL. You must copy this invitation link, open it in your browser, follow the on-screen instructions, and accept the relationship request using admin credentials of your indirect reseller tenant. Once the tenant is successfully connected with Redington, return to the brand setup screen and resubmit the tenant ID. The system will validate the linkage and allow you to save. Conclusion: once the MPN ID and, if applicable, the indirect reseller ID are successfully validated and saved, your Microsoft CSP brand setup is complete. From this point onward, your MPN ID will be tagged to all Microsoft CSP transactions. Your indirect reseller ID will be used for provisioning and relationship mapping, and your company is marked as transaction ready for Microsoft CSP Business. The brand setup process follows the same principle for other vendors. For each brand, the system captures the unique identifiers required by that vendor, validates them against the vendor's ecosystem, and stores them securely for use in future transactions. This ensures that all orders and subscriptions are correctly mapped and compliant with vendor requirements.